It's July 14th. I just wanted to record really quick because so with the whole vibration thing, I tried it again today in the sense of like timing, because I had to move my car. Well, I was hoping to move my car. Well, I was asking if I needed to move my car because I really didn't have to. But the other side of the street was getting the sweeper. And so I asked if I needed to move it, and it was yes. I said, okay, will I move it before 10 o'clock? Because I was trying to get ready and I just have some things to do. And the end of the day didn't turn out so great yesterday. I really lagged it, and I didn't do as much as I had wanted to do. But today is a shorter day, which I'm grateful for. So I was like, okay, today, always a new start. I think that's one of the things, the biggest lessons that I've learned is I can get down on myself for overindulging. For me, it's a lot of overindulging. And this week I've noticed that I've overindulged a lot on the TV since it came back on. And I've overindulged in food. And there's just this awareness. I'm like, I know I need to get back. And stay balanced and stop getting distracted. So I was doing well. And then just at the end, I got sucked in. So I ended up falling asleep on the couch, TV on, lights on, everything on. Fortunately, I had washed my face, so I'm making progress. So anyways, I brushed it off. I said, it's a new day. Let me start fresh. The meditation. So I'm asking about my day. And again, it's all yes or no questions. So I also have to be mindful and honest with myself is what I noticed. I have to be honest and mindful as to the questions that I ask. So I said, okay, this is what I know for sure. Gotta move my car. I have clients. I need to turn in my notes. I forgot I have to go to the post office too. And then the event is tonight. The poetry reading is tonight. And music and there's gonna be a lot of stuff. So then I just happened to ask. I was like, okay, so the morning, right? Will the sweeper come before 10? Yes. Okay. So then I'm asking yes or no question. I'm like, okay, can I go to the event today? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, what am I gonna wear? I'm like, can I just go comfy because it's gonna be at night. It's gonna be cold. No. I'm like, aw. Do I dress up? Yes. Okay. What do I wear? So then I'm visually in my mind going through each outfit. And then finally I get the one where I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I'll wear that. Doesn't matter what shoes and, I picked out my outfit. I picked out my outfit for tonight. Clearly not what I'm wearing. So I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna go dress up. Then I thought about it. I'm like, it's been a while that I dress up, so I'm gonna dress up. And so I thought that was cool, just to kind of get that guidance and knowing that it's me, right? It's just my higher self showing me the way. So there was that. So then I said, oh, is that all you have to share with me today? No, miento. No, yeah. It was that. Is there anything else you want to share with me today? Yes. Like, oh, okay. But then it's like yes or no questions, right? So I have to be honest with myself. I'm like, what do I need to know? And I knew it's about my food, right? I was like, oh, it's about my habits, right? It's about my habits. Yes. Like, okay, I'm just gonna do one. It's about my food habits, eating. Yes. Okay. It's about eating late, right? Yeah. Like, okay. See, and it's stuff that you already know. So it's a matter of being honest with yourself, right? And your readiness to create that change. So I said, okay, assessing it. I'm assessing my eating habits. I'm like, it's eating late. Okay, what's the cutoff, right? Okay, can't eat after 7. No. Can't eat after 6. No. Okay. So, and I kept doing that until I got the answer. So I guess my higher self doesn't want me to eat after 6. So I said, okay, can I have tea and water after 6? Yes. I was like, okay. And then I thought about it. So I bought this machine. It's called a Bialetti. And it's an espresso machine because, part of me was just like, well, one, it looked like a fun contraption and I wanted to play with it. And 2, I wanted to learn how to make my own coffee, which is so interesting because I didn't realize that I had shifted to drinking more coffee, and until my sister said it. When I told her I bought it, she's like, "Since when do you drink coffee?" And I was just like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I never did before. I used to drink teas, green tea mostly, and my B12, but now there's just something about the coffee, and I've been tired of the coffee brand that I buy because it's instant. So it's nothing fancy, but it's getting to that point where I'm like, I don't like the flavor of it anymore. Like I don't, it doesn't do it for me. It's not pleasurable. So that's one of the reasons why I bought the Bialetti machine too, was just to try something new. And I've made comments before about like, there's people who just really know, I've come across people who really know about coffee roast and smells and stuff like that. And I think now that I'm drinking more coffee, like I can tell what's a mediocre coffee versus one that tastes really good. So I want to get more familiar with that. So so it's just me. So I don't, so I bought this with the hope that I could buy more of the ground, what is it? The ground ones, like not instant coffee, to see if that'll change. So, but then I thought about it because I heard that you can also use this to make tea. So, although it's not meant for it. So then I asked, and the reason why I asked was because I was brought up, mentioned before, in a very religious, like conservative way, where even your food intake was to an extreme. Like you're not supposed to drink caffeine. You're not supposed to have anything with caffeine. Or I know my mom's a big like no shrimp person. I love shrimp. It's so good. Although I used to be allergic to it. So I grew up with, I'm not supposed to eat pork. I grew up not eating pork. I didn't eat pork until I started hanging out more with my ex's family. And now it's like I can taste the difference. Like I know my taste is shifting. So anyways, I decided to ask about coffee because of that. So I asked, like, am I allowed to eat coffee or drink coffee? And the answer was yes. I was like, okay, well, it makes sense, right? Because life is not about restrictions. It's about pleasure. It's about balancing both, right? It's about using the contrast to drive you to pleasure, right? To desire more, to desire something better. And so, can you have coffee? Yes, it's something pleasurable for a lot of people. It's a great interest. It's about making sure you balance it out, right? So I was like, okay, I can have coffee. Great, because I was thinking of cutting coffee out completely. But I wanted to share that because that was one thing that for me was like surprising, because I always had heard even other people in the spiritual were like, oh, I don't drink coffee when I meditate. I'm like, well, I do. I'm like, I do. And because they were saying like, oh, it's something not healthy or something like that. But then, now that I'm saying it out loud, it depends. So, a client of mine, I was explaining to them, they were, I guess they were really feeling the heaviness of the full moon in Capricorn. And I had mentioned that I attended that one class. And it provided some insight, and I didn't know a lot of what they were talking about. But because it was the first meeting that I went to, my intention was just to be present, just to take it all in, not really ask questions, but just experience it. And then once I get more comfortable, I'll ask questions if things come up. And so it was good information. I didn't think I was going to need it much, but then here I have this client who's extra sensitive to the energies, literally to the energies of the world. I mean, he has a sensitivity that's astounding for me, because I've noticed that people that I come across that are very sensitive to certain energies, they're more sensitive than me. Because again, I realize I'm somewhere in the middle. So I can pick it up slightly, but not to the same degree as other people who are on the other side of the spectrum, where there's more sensitivity to loss, to every life experience. There's just this greater sensitivity that they process the energy in a different way. And then of course there's the other extreme, right, where there's people who, when it comes to emotions or even life experiences, it goes over their head to a certain degree, and they only get impacted a whiff of it. There's a whiff of impact, right? Their level of awareness and ability to receive and process that information is different. So then I thought, okay, for me, because I am somewhere in the middle, I can balance this out. For someone who's on the extreme, their balance, quote unquote balance, is going to look different than mine. It's going to look different than mine. They might have to do more energy cleansing. They might have to do more of the sliding door closing, right? Can't let anybody in, right? Their balance is going to look a lot different than mine. So I started thinking about that. And so I was telling this client who, these beliefs are somewhat in alignment. There's a whiff of it. And so I said, well, if you ever want to entertain the idea, because it sounds like this information was helpful to you, you might want to consider signing up to finding some type of astrological community just to get a whiff of what's happening in the planets, or the energy in the external world, to make sense of what you're experiencing. Because this person kept saying, like, I can feel it. Am I going crazy? Am I going crazy? No, you are feeling it. You happen to be on the extreme of, you're able to detect it a lot faster and in a different way than other people. So then I realized, and I thought about that a little bit more. And then he kept saying, you're the expert. I'm like, I'm not the expert. Oh, because when I presented the information, I'm not an astrologer. I'm not claiming to be. I know enough. To and he kept saying, you're the expert. I'm like, no, I'm not the expert. This part of the information, I'm not an expert. Well, anything really. I know enough to take what I need from it and not get stuck in it, is what I realized this morning when I was reflecting on it. I know enough of this body of information that I take what I need that resonates for me, but not get stuck in it and say, this is truth. This is truth, because then I'm confining myself to this box that everything has to match this, and I'm not there. Like, there's a whiff of truth in this body of knowledge. There's a whiff of truth in this body of knowledge, and I am learning how to take what I need for myself, for my personal alignment, and so the imbalance becomes when we take a knowledge of truth and say everything has to fit in this box. Everything has to fit in this box, right? This box of religion, this box of science, this box of medicine, whatever, however you want to define it. When I get too aferrada, too stuck, I don't allow for it to change. I don't allow for information to flow in and flow out, right? And so then that's the rigidity. And when something new comes away, a new way of doing things, or a new evolutionary level of awareness, right? Or I don't know what you want to call it. This little box is going to get hit. It's going to get hit. It's going to get hit because it's not budging. It's not budging. And it's going to keep getting hit, keep getting hit, keep hitting it until it is destroyed, really. And that's the impact that a lot of people feel and have when things are too rigid. with regards to knowledge, right? With regards to viewing life only in a certain way, right? Knowing that what I'm taking is going to look different. Because for some people, that body of knowledge, this body of truth will stay in alignment with them until it needs to change. The thing to be aware of is, for you, whatever body of knowledge makes sense for you, will you be open enough to allow that change to occur when that time comes? Because for you, Christianity may be it, right? And that's fine. For someone else, it may be Catholicism. For someone else, it may be, Hinduism, whatever, Islam, whatever body of knowledge you are pertaining to, as long as you're in alignment with it, right? And not forcing it on someone else, just acknowledging that for you, it's in your path, this makes sense for you, great, right? And then when that time comes for it to evolve, will you be open to it, right? So that the impact doesn't hurt as much. That's what I was thinking about this morning. Yeah. Okay. And the sweeper came before 10. I looked at the time after I came back and said 9:59. So I started laughing. Like, okay, well, there you go. There you go. So, all right. That's it for me. I got stuff to do. Hi, my name is Yubi, and in case you haven't figured it out, this footage is capturing my experience as I learn to navigate my personal spiritual awakening. I am learning that this experience is unique to each one of us. In whatever way we believe we are embracing living our truth, this just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, documenting my experience, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself, and really inviting you along for the ride. If by some magical chance you find this content to be helpful in any way, shape, or form, please click the like button, share the message, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account, a personal one, and one specifically for this channel that you're more than welcome to check out. I'm an open book. I have also created t-shirt designs. I'm wearing my favorite one right now, which is the North Node design, but I have that and other things that you can look at inspired by this process and journey, and I have the link in the description box as well as in the about section of my YouTube channel. So you're more than welcome to check those items out. Any type of support is great. Again, if you find this content really helpful or meaningful, sometimes when we take that step and be vulnerable, with showing what's inside our hearts and what's really our truth, we realize that we're much more connected than what we thought we were. And so I hope that as I'm living this experience and that you find some type of truth for yourself, or find some type of ability to heal in some way just by relating, just by knowing that you're not alone. That really has been my goal with this process, not just being able to connect with others, but really for my own healing. It's definitely been a therapeutic experience and a very creative one for myself. So I thank you, and I wish you all the best, and we'll see what else comes next for me. So